I'm sure a lot of Cowboy owners are very nervous right now about Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb. But focusing on Amari Cooper, I just feel like don't get rid of him. You're not going to sell him high. Don't sell him low, 100%. If you have a decent offer for him or in a package, that's the only time I would consider moving him. But Amari Cooper, besides this past week 8 where the entire Cowboys look terrible, he's been averaging 11 fantasy points per week without Dak. Andy Dalton is coming back this upcoming week, so his outlook should be better.
Yeah.
Nonetheless to say, I mean, Amari Cooper is still a very elite receiver and will get his numbers eventually.
Yeah, and they can still win the NFCs, so they have to be competitive there.
Exactly. And so, if you have Cooper, hold him. You might play players over him certain weeks, but don't trade him for nothing.
Yeah. David Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Is it David Johnson Jr.?
No.
Okay. Nonetheless. David Johnson of the Arizona Cardinals. What? Oh, he's not from the Cardinals. The Houston Texans. My bad.
That was so like.
All right, David Johnson, DJ. Outside looking in, a lot of people, including myself, it's easy to think like, oh, he's an average running back. At least just when you look and watch the Texans game, you don't think he's doing that well. But fantasy-wise, he's doing solid, as you pointed out to me. He's been averaging about, a little over 10 points like every game.
Mm-hmm.
And that the only reason for that is because he can be a factor in the passing game and the running game.
Mm-hmm.
He won't necessarily run for over 100 yards. That's not his game. But he'll get like 40, 50, 60 yards with like 50 passing yards.
With touchdown potential on both sides.
Yeah, with a touchdown, exactly.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. He's just a big ass like Camara.
I guess,
in a way, like in terms of how they affect the game.
In a way, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so
He's a big ass Camaro.
So that boy's big.
Yeah.
So anyways, we think you should hold him. He's a solid running back.
I mean, if you trade for DJ, I mean, he's a great running back to have.
Yeah.
Like you said, any fantasy player outside of QB that could get consistent double-digit points, whether it be the top receiver or like the whatever, that's good for fantasy. Yeah. That's all you need.
He can either be your like running back 2 or your flex. Like I would love him at my running back 2 or flex. So
if it's my flex, man, that shit's stacked.
Yeah. So just hold on to him if you have him. Even trade for him if you are in need of a decent running back and you're not willing to give up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have Tyreek Hill. Do you got a little spiel you want to say?
Yeah, I do. I just want to say before we get into this and I let Daniel take the floor, I just want to say I think Tyreek Hill is the top 5 fantasy receiver. I think he's a baller, but you guys are have your own. What am I trying to say? You guys are allowed to have your own opinion and listen to the advice of whoever you want. But take it away.
Yes, Tyreek Hill. Yes, he's had double-digit fantasy points in all weeks but one. Yes, he's had a touchdown every game in all weeks but one. But because of that, I don't think he could sustain that kind of production. Even with Mahomes as a QB and Tyreek Hill being as fast as he is, he's only had 10 targets only twice this season, above 10 targets. And besides that, he's only had at most 6. So with at most 6 throws to him, he's been able to produce this. And I feel like he's just super high ceiling and just like that floor, you just don't know where it is.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think you should sell him now because people want him. People think he is great. I mean, he is doing great right now, but I just don't see him doing that every week. And one week, he's just going to let you down. It could be fancy playoffs and you expect him to get 14 points and he'll get you 3. So yeah, I mean, Hill has a big name to it too. So you could definitely trade him for, honestly, if you could trade Hill for Julio, I would much rather have Julio than Hill.
You could probably get like a Stephon Diggs and a running back.
I would rather have Diggs and David Johnson than Hill.
I don't know if you can get that. But...
I don't know if you get that, but that'd be really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a good receiver, but
yes, he is a great receiver, but
not enough to you.
To me, if I had him on my team, I would try to sell him.
Okay, fair. Last but not least, is James Conner. I don't know why my hand's been on my back. It's James Conner. He is kind of like David Johnson in the way that like no one really talks about him too much. He's not in that top running back conversation, but he's been playing like a top tier running back too. I think, you know, we were talking earlier, like Big Ben, like, yeah, he's good. He's been helping them become 7-0, 8-0, I don't know.
7-0.
7-0, but he's not the Ben as old, so he's
not as accurate.
As accurate, so he will throw his picks, and so they really need to establish the run game with James Conner.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think with the Steelers having so many options offensively, they do need to establish a run game so that those options become more available for Ben.
Yeah. He's a good player, and I mean he's kind of their workhorse. Like wherever he goes, the Steelers will go, in my opinion. And so hold on to him. He's also like DJ. If you can get him, and I don't think you'll need to pay a lot for him, really.
Yeah.
So if you can get him. He'll give you. He's been averaging a little over 10 points as well, which is all you can ask for, especially in non-PPR. In PPR, I'm sure it's a lot more. So
yeah, agreed.